Welcome to Namaste with Renee, an award-winning podcast for entrepreneurs and personal reality creators. I'm your host, Renee Marcou, CEO of Marcou & Company, founder of the iHeart Coaching Academy, and professional singer-songwriter. I show women how to soar into financial and spiritual riches by turning their remedy into revenue. Hear from world-renowned guest experts on Namaste with Renee. Hello and welcome to Namaste with Renee. I'm your host, Renee Marcou. So delighted to introduce you to or reintroduce you to my amazing guest, Kim Vandesand. She is from kimness.nl and she is such an amazing guest, so much so that I am inviting her back again in this season to share her beautiful light and love and all of this goodness that she has for you today in this episode. So Kim, thank you so much for being here again with us.
Thank you, Renee. It's such a blessing and such a gift to share space with you and to just share a beautiful conversation because
I
there's
feel the same way.
It's truly magical. Yeah, it is.
Thank you. It really is. So what have you been up to since we last talked and saw you in Namaste with Renee?
I think our last podcast was before Egypt even, so it's like a half year ago. So much has happened. It's like my book, Activating the Flower of Love, came out, so that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, let's just talk about that for a second. Your book brings this imagery to my mind anytime I open it up and read it, and I'm just like, wow, this is gorgeous. Like literally when you say flower, activating the flower of love. For anyone who wants to purchase it, by the way, it's still available on Amazon, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can buy it on any bookstore. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And every time I open it and I read it, because I go through the chapters like in a slow pace. I'm a slow reader. That's just
but
my
that's
style.
Good. Yeah.
And I just see these images of like this gorgeous garden, and I'm like uprooting, you know, the old beliefs of like dirty stems and like roots.
Take this one out.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, that doesn't align. No, that never did.
Yeah.
Okay. See ya. And I just like your book has helped me do that and really create a beautiful internal vision of myself and my life. So thank you so much for your book. I'm continuing to read it. It comes to me when I know I'm meant to and get into the next chapter. So, oh my gosh. So you've launched the book. How is it going so far?
It's truly magical. It's like the moment you create something, and especially with a book, I channeled it a year before. So then you have full editing part, and then finally it goes out into the world and spread its wings. Like I know the potency of these frequencies, but then it's also like, does the rest of the world feel it as well? And does it do what it's shared that it would do? And it's truly magical to hear the messages of people going through the journey and activating these deeper parts within themselves, clearing their fields, and really, because in the end, it's about becoming who you came here to be. It's reconnecting to your divine blueprint and reconnecting to your magnificence and your radiance. And yeah, it's beautiful that now this book is out. It's like it touches people, and it's co-creating and it's spreading. And in the end, the message is love, becoming love, loving to yourself, loving to people around you. And the more you embody love, the more love you spread out into the world. So but I love that you're doing it on your own pace, because it is truly a multidimensional transmission what you are reading. So it needs to integrate, it needs to build, it needs to let things go. And then although I'm always with the speed of light, but it's like it can also be when you read books like me, it can also be overwhelming. It can be like this.
Do you read them fast?
I sometimes read also like these books that are transmissions, and I'm just then reading it at once, but then it's also accepting the overwhelm that then comes at once of all the transmissions you received in one time. It's like
that's powerful. And you know, it's one of those things for me. I love how you said the word integrate, because that's exactly what I'm doing, right? Like I know when my soul calls toward it, and you know when it really does is when I'm in the state of peace. It's not like when I only have 15 minutes to read in between me and the gym or me and my dog. It's like or a client or something. It's like I read this when I'm in a state of peace. Like I opened it the very first time when I treated myself to a spa day. I was in the jacuzzi, opened it up, and I was like, this is perfect timing. And then so now I guess I'm just, reading it in all those beautiful times when I'm in that peaceful space. And it's sometimes like in the bath, like bubble bath. Like I'm a water lover anyway.
Yeah.
You know that
That's
about me,
great.
but I'm like, these are just like gorgeous times to crack this book open and just receive the transmission and really go into the visualizations that you create
Yes.
in every chapter.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because then it's the most powerful. But then you also, the way you do it, you create an even more powerful vortex because you're relaxed and you're receptive to receive. And then these multidimensional energies can co-create with you, allowing you to receive even more. So it's beautiful that then it really becomes like a vortex of peace and love and reconnecting deep within yourself. Because not only with my book, but just in general life, the moment we allow ourselves to have fun, to have joy, to be in peace, it's like the moment we relax, and then source and all these inspirations can come in. And it's like these moments that are so profound and so needed in this time, because when you allow yourself to have that more in your day, it's like things happen from flow and you just open up to a different dimension of yourself. And so
It
it's amazing.
is so true. Talk about creatives, right? I know I have amazing creatives who watch this podcast, and just being in that creative flow. For me, it starts from that moment of peace where I'm not, so clouded in my brain space or in my mind. And it's just like this gorgeous channel and download, as a lot of people in our community will call like an inspirational download or spiritual download, and just having that openness and really allowing the love vibration to really be in all of ourselves.
Yeah. And when you then, because I also noticed that within myself, it's like the moment I have fun or just doing other things, it's like the most profound inspiration come. And when you then create from this inspiration, it also goes with the speed of light. It's the same with my book. It was channeled in 20 hours. Okay, then the whole editing part came. But yeah, my whole book was channeled in only 20 hours. But it was just me allowing this inspiration to come through. And it's like, when we are in this zone of genius, I like to call it, it's like it just goes fluidly.
Yes. I love the zone of genius. I use that term as well. You feel it. It feels so good. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I know some of my amazing friends also purchased and read your book, and it speaks so highly of it. To shout some of them out, Carl Gruber, Eleni Energy, they're just like totally into it and loving it. And actually, when I'm finished with the book, I'm going to let my mom borrow it too. So she's
amazing.
Have that gorgeous.
But it's with everything we create. We hope that it just spread its wings, because in the end, I was only the vessel. So I allowed the energy, the source, to come through me. But I really love that now the teachings are spreading their wings and doing what they came here to be. Reminding people of the love within themselves. And that's also like my journey last half year, also after Egypt. It's like I went through my most deep things, but through that, I also awakened the most profound love within myself and awakened even more of my mission, because that is what I noticed my last half year. Like, we've so been taught to just look at things from the shallow sides and not go too deep. But what I've noticed last half year, the deeper from this field of love, feeling the support, the deeper I dare to go within myself, the most profound shifts happened, the more clients came on my path, the more magical things opened up. But it's by me doing the inner work. And now, like, also the teachings of the flower of love, they have been guiding me constantly. So it's like, it's not that one thing is created and then it's finished. No, it's like the more I interact with the field of love, because in the end, it's the field of love consciousness. It's the field that Christ consciousness also worked with. It's like just the infinite field of love, of unconditional love. And the more you interact with that field, the more magic opens up and the more wisdom opens up within myself, but also within others. So the last few months, I've been guided to, well, in a way, shift my business model as well, to reach as many people as possible, to connect them with the field of love. And it starts by love for yourself. But if we connect with the love for ourselves, and when we can truly be loving to ourselves, embrace our shadows and our beauty, that is where true transformation happens. And not only true transformation in our lives, but also in the people that are around us, and even in the collective field. It's like they're showing me like these beautiful images. Like, it's a time for all of us to step up. And what can you do in your home space? What can you do by yourself? It's like also letting go of the belief that you can't change anything that is happening around you. Yes, you can. By being in this love space, by embracing yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop shaming yourself. Stop all these negative beliefs and embrace yourself with love. And when you are in this love field, and when you are in this inspirational state, when you are in this joyful state, that is what you then express outwardly. And through that, it's like this magical process happens where more and more love is being spread. And there's so much awakening in that, but it's by us consciously choosing to be love, and also by Also me, what I've noticed, and that's also what I inspire others to do, by me stretching myself and by me embracing my shadows, more of my magic opens up. But it's also something that we haven't been taught. It's like we've so been taught to not feel, to not express, to not. But I'm inviting everyone to feel, to express, listen to your body, listen to your emotions, because they are a powerful way, a powerful tool of guidance, of your higher self saying, this is my boundary. This is what I feel. This is what I want to express, instead of not. It's also with emotions, instead of not expressing our emotions, and then they become blocks in our fields, and then they stop us from manifesting what we truly desire. No, embrace who you are, allow energies to move through you, dance, scream, cry, whatever you feel called to do.
Yes.
And then see how you fluidly can move forward. It's like the journey is really about coming truthful to ourselves and who we are, and also truthful about our human side, because we can be this higher spiritual being, but in the end we are in physical form, and through us being in physical form we can be even of more contribution to the collective field. But it's embracing then all that we are, instead of neglecting parts of ourselves or not wanting parts of ourselves to be seen. So it's also about a journey of really becoming truthful of who we are. And,
Yes. Oh, I so agree with you. And you know what? I'm glad you brought up the shadow part. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that too, if you'd be willing to share more about it. For anyone who's listening, how could you explain what the shadow part of us? I know that you said it was the shadow part and then the beautiful side of us, like it could be light and dark, the shadow. How do you describe the shadow for anyone who's like, oh, I'm not sure I've heard of that before?
I think we are all being invited to take responsibility for what we feel. So it's like embracing all the parts of us, and shadow parts can present themselves in many ways. So us being triggered by someone or certain situations, but it can also be like when something happens that you feel this intense judgment coming up, or this intense emotion coming up. And it's like embracing those parts, because within the trigger, within the emotion, within the shame, within whatever is happening, whatever is challenging you, there's so much wisdom. Because it's like almost, so for me as well, I set this goal for myself, but then the universe, my field, my body is showing me, okay, you want this goal, but these slower vibrations, these shadow parts of you are still holding you back of reaching that goal. So if I'm then willing to discover what is this shadow part, this challenge, this trigger, this emotion trying to share with me, and how can I transform it back into love? How can I invite it to be seen, to be loved, to be witnessed? That is where real transformation happens. And suddenly I'm even past reaching my goal. It already happened, and it's by us. It's like there are certain things in our field that keep us from moving forward. And if we want to move forward, it's being truthful about what is there. And it's like, not going for the quick fix anymore, but really seeing ourselves, loving ourselves, embracing all these parts of us. Because it's like you, me, we, like for me, everyone, you are the most important person in your life. Why would you blame yourself? Why would you shame yourself? And if you have an intense emotion, if a little child would stand in front of you with that intense emotion, what would you say? Would you say, no, I'm not home? Or don't cry, don't be so loud? But even in happiness, don't be so happy, don't be so light, don't be so, it's like, why not? It's like
conditioning to this. Oh my gosh, I just feel it. I feel that it's like conditioning to this container. You're only allowed to be in this container to be accepted. But what you're saying is the shadow goes beyond that. You're saying the beauty goes beyond that. It's not just this straight line spectrum, but more or less it's this gigantic 360 view of all of us completely.
It is, but it's embracing life at its fullest. We came here to experience, and through us fully experiencing, through us fully feeling, that's where the real growth happens. But it's also where the real magic happens, because you can choose to stay in your comfort zone the rest of your life, and that's fine. It's not judging yourself in that as well. But if you really feel the desire to create something different, it's facing these parts within yourself. And even like if someone else triggers you, notice what it triggers within you, because you feel hurt, you feel a part of you becomes emotional, and in the end it can be that someone is saying a certain word that triggers, but it is in your field, because if you wouldn't have a trigger on that certain word or on that certain emotion, it wouldn't happen. So you can say, no, that's your fault and you are doing that, but then you don't resolve it within yourself. So then the next person can trigger you on that, and then the next person, and it's like it's not, nothing gets dissolved. Instead of you, how hard it sometimes is, because these journeys can be very hard, instead of you being honest to yourself and you really holding yourself with love to see what is this wanting to share with me, and how can I shift it? Because it's like you come here to create the life of your dreams. You want something magnificent. And then it's just owning these emotions that you feel and discovering the wisdom that is behind them so you can elevate even more. And it's like, stop looking for the answers outside of yourself and stop blaming the whole world. It's like, and I know it's not easy because we've so been programmed, but it also in a way creates like, I can't do anything.
Right.
So instead of
and it keeps you feeling stuck, and a person wants to be able to expand. I love so much. I keep hearing this word coming through for anyone who is really maybe hearing this for the first time. I'm really like, oh, this is like really clicking and activating something within me. It's I keep hearing that we're so conditioned to blame others, which ultimately keeps us at victim. And it's just the human part of us, right? It's like we have to sit down and be a good girl, or we have to, be accepted amongst the class, or we're in the tribe, or we don't know how to healthfully express emotions. If we cry too much, we're labeled as crybabies. If we are mad all the time, we're labeled as this. And it's like society has like basically just, pushed us into this little, how it's supposed to look. And, I think it's so beautiful how you said you honor those all of the emotions within you, and you get to look at that and say, hey, why am I triggered by this interesting situation? It's like, like, where am I not being true to myself in that? How can I own my ownership over my life and become a divine creator? Before we got on the session today, we were talking about creating boundaries that make you feel more safe, not letting everybody into your space that really aren't here to support and love you up or be a part of your journey, but rather bring you to a moment of, hey, here's where we can make some change in the human part of us, and let's make some change around it, and let's up level who gets access to us, for example, right? Or even the person who, maybe has like never really expressed their voice as much as they are because they feel shame or blame, or, outside of what is allowed in their own perspective. It's like, what I hear you saying is it's really loving up that part of you and allowing yourself to be the full emotional spectrum. Even if emotions come through, it's not pushing that away. But it's feeling. And
because it works both sides. It's like, so we want to be this powerful light and this huge contribution, but but we are both part of the spectrum. So the more light we embody, it's like we also need to see these shadow parts in ourselves. Otherwise we can't embody as much light, because then there's too much density in our field. And it really is, even though sometimes it's hard, and it's letting go of all these conditionings that we have been taught when growing up. It is the most empowering, because it's your journey. In the end, you are with you the rest of your life. And do you really want to get triggered on these same emotions the rest of your life? It's like taking ownership of creating something beautiful. And that's also just honoring yourself. And most of the time, these conditionings have been created while we were very young. Even like, so no, not cry, not scream, not do all these things, but also don't be too enthusiastic. Don't be too loud in when you are having fun. Why not? It's like, even in that, it's like, but there are so many programs that are subconsciously running, and most of us, like, we feel that there's something different to life. There's more to what we are experiencing right now, and it's finding that one thing that will bring you the fulfillment you are looking for, but it is within. It's like embracing all you are, and just loving also your inner child, and loving her, even if she's sad, even if she's angry. It's like, and it's not per se to express the anger to the outer world, but just allow yourself to get it out of your field, get it out of your system, because even diseases are created that way. It's like you block your whole system, and then if you do that long enough, if you neglect yourself long enough, at one point it can create diseases. And it's like embracing yourself. And I know it because it's part of my own journey. I neglected parts of myself for so long that I also got sick. But healing is truly embracing all these parts of us. So embracing our beautiful physical vessel, our emotions, our energy field, and starting to work with all the different levels. But it all starts with love, because it starts with, do you love yourself enough to see yourself? Do you love yourself enough to really also create the life of your dreams? Do you find yourself worthy enough? And those are really, they are so essential energies. And that's also what the field of the flower of love does. Like, us choosing to connect in love and allowing love to guide us, because when we are truly guiding ourselves from our heart, beautiful things are created, but also beautiful things for the world. Because if you create from your heart, it will be a thing that is good for all. It's like, but if we create from the ego mind and from the old paradigms, it's like, yeah, most of the time it's created from lack or from separation of only good for one person and not for the rest. So it's a constant invitation to go deep within yourself and to connect with these layers of love and yeah, hold yourself, but also to become truthful about who you are and what is being presented. And don't be afraid of your emotions. Don't be afraid, and connect yourself with people that hold you in that space of love, so you can be witnessed in your truth, in your essence, in your because that's so important.
I love those questions that you even asked too. Do you love yourself enough to go for your dreams? Do you love yourself enough to look in the mirror and say, like, it's okay, you know? And I also love that you brought up about how if we just kind of push it under the rug or, you know, take these emotions and stuff them away somewhere, one day I'll get to them. It's like, you're right. It does come into your body as a disease or as a, you know, like a paradigm that's really just set in lack and pain and limitation, or it is like it can come through as pain in your body, right? Like even like I know for me, I've healed my body time and time again, right? There's been certain things that I've pushed away because I didn't want to look in the mirror and face it. I've done it. And when I actually just get with myself and I'm like, okay, like, thank you. I'm seeing this. Back then, I chose this because I thought that that was the best with what I could do, with what I had for information at the time. And now I'm choosing to not do that because I don't want this to come up as pain or illness in my body. But now I'm going to heal that part of me. And now I'm going to love myself through it. I'm going to feel through the emotions I didn't really want to look at that time, or I couldn't, or maybe my body was just protecting me at the time.
But that's
my mind
also
was protecting me, right? And it's like, okay, like when you have that love and that awareness and that willingness, you can look in the mirror and say, okay, where is this, just this energy that needs to be moved? And, you know, it's not like this whole process of healing that has to take months and years.
No.
It can happen in a flash.
Most of the time it shifts quickly when you allow yourself to be really seen.
Really. And that is so true. It is so true. And I just love that you brought that up. Thank you, Kim.
Because then you stop resisting yourself. We are constantly resisting our flow. We are constantly resisting our life force energy. That just like our true life force energy, it is explosive. It is explosive, joyful, and it is explosive, crying. It is like just living. And when something happens, also when something sad happens, just allow yourself to cry for a moment and it is already gone. But what we do is like, no, I don't want to feel that. And then it takes with you the next day or the week or something. It's like when you allow yourself to really experience, things shift much more quickly. And it's just tuning in with yourself, because that's also an important thing to know. It's like not judging what you have done before, because you have done that from your best knowing then. And it is now, like also now, you are listening to this podcast, this interview, this beautiful share. What are you choosing in this now moment with the new awarenesses you have now? And then it's stop blaming what you did before, but just empowering yourself in this now moment, because in each and every moment you have a choice to do something different and to feel that, to know that whatever happened in the past, whatever traumas you have had, because sometimes life can be really hard, but it's also trusting that with love, you can truly heal everything. And it's like letting go of that part where we think that we are broken forever. No, if you're really allowing yourself to feel with love, you can heal. You can heal these broken parts in yourself. You can heal your physical body. You can heal. It's like, but it starts again with finding yourself worthy enough to heal, finding yourself worthy enough to step out of a situation that is not healthy for you, finding yourself worthy enough to create something new. There's so many, and all relate to love. So love, and that's also, but I think it's just time. It's time for us to embrace love and to be love and to spread love and to inspire others to also hold themselves in love, but through our own embodiment. It's like also a time where it's not like a time where we not only listen to the energy, not only listen to the words, but also to feeling the vibration. It's about feeling the essence of what someone wants to share, and the essence of love. And through that, it already ripples out. There's so much to share about that. But I would just invite people to embrace themselves in love. And from that, the rest will unfold.
It will, definitely. And I'm hearing everything you're saying, and my body's just like, yes, like I'm just like soaking it in. I'm loving myself enough to receive your transition, to be here, to experience this with you, and to shine that love right back to you. Right? It's
Thank
if
you.
when it is all about
Yes,
that love, it's
it
you're
is.
overpouring. You just get
Yeah,
to give it out even more. You get to show
yeah,
up in the way that you know that you've come here to show up, you know.
it is.
And you know, I love how you also use the words, I invite you. I invite you
Mhm.
to look in, right? And you're
Yeah,
inviting everybody here listening to the podcast or watching to really look at where are they not loving up on themselves and how can they be in, you know, you're inviting them to look at how can we have more love for self, because yes, in fact, we can change the outer reality when we
it
have
is.
divine love. It is
Yeah,
100% true. I see it all the time.
yeah.
And I think it's this conversation is just really, really so high vibe and just so beautiful. And oh my gosh, thank you. So tell us, what are you sharing in the world now? Where can we be a part of your journey? Let us know.
So the most important journey at this moment is the Flower of Love Revolutionary Journeys. And it's all about like building this strong foundation of love within yourself. So it's like an ever building journey where we connect together, because when we connect together and consciously connect to the field of love together, it amplifies. It amplifies our own healing. It amplifies our own transformation. It amplifies, but also by us embodying more love, it also spreads out into the collective field. So it's like if you would see the collective, like the quantum field, the collective field, we can tune into that field subconsciously the whole day. So each time you feel something, you are pouring an energy into the subconscious field of the world. And I'm inviting everyone to connect from this love field. And the more people can also pour this energy into the field of the consciousness, the more we change the world. So but it starts within. So for me, it's really about inviting everyone to join in this love space and to embody more love. And when we come together, it's truly magical. And that's also what I've been shown the last couple of weeks. The more people connecting to the field of love consciousness, the more powerful the transformation in
Mhm.
people's self, but also in the world. And the quicker the manifestations happens. But it is by us choosing to come together, stepping out of separation and stepping into co-creating together,
Mhm.
stepping in this field of sharing, of embodying more love and choosing more love. It's like I hope people will understand the energy behind it, but there's so much energy happening when we consciously together meditate and choose to connect with love. And it's like, because when we connect in love, it's not only good for yourself but also for the world. And I think that needs to be the new template. It's like, oh no, not only doing things that are only good for the world, because there are a lot of people that are also constantly giving themselves away. Now it starts within, first filling your own cup, and from this field of overflow give to the world. And I think that needs to be the new template, that we can
Yes.
share but also rise together. It's like everyone wanting each other to be their magnificent self, because that is good for yourself but also for the world. And it's stepping in this new paradigm of being, a new paradigm of sharing with the world and being of service higher level.
Oh, Kim, you are speaking to all parts of me. My inner child who literally came here like ready to save the world, didn't even know what that
Yeah,
meant.
yay,
But you know what I
yes,
mean? Like just like
yes it is, yeah,
talking to this part that it's like, you know, it really, I've always had this vision for doing so much more love for you so that you can overpour so that it can affect your children and the younger generation
yeah,
and the world at large, like literally the world at large. And, you know, I love how you just reminded all of us that
yeah,
it is starting with self so that we can pour into that
it is,
subconscious as of
yeah.
the collective conscious.
I have one more visual to share it more
Yeah.
easily than but I think because it is, remember a moment when you were in love, you were magically in love with that other person. In that moment, you would just radiate magnificence everywhere. People would just laugh at you when you were just walking down the street because they saw your natural glow. Things suddenly happened beautifully, like the neighbor you didn't like before suddenly is very nice. But it's not because the neighbor changed, it's because you changed. And I think
Yeah.
start with being in love with yourself the whole day, and then just allow the magic to unfold. Because truly, when we choose love, magical things open up. And not only magic just in beauty, but also in manifestations. It goes so much further, but it's choosing to be in love itself.
It
And
so is.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. I'm just feeling this. Like, thank you. You've just really,
yeah,
like, literally reactivated all of this
yay,
love within
yes,
me. Thank you so
yeah,
much, Kim. And I really
thank
feel
you.
that those who are listening, who have been guided here divinely to be in this conversation with us and just receive all that
Yes,
you're sharing, have really really been able to activate and open up to that love as well. Like, let's let ourselves off. We are all worthy and deserving of it. We came here to have these experiences and to love ourselves fully and unconditionally. And I love how you said, when the love vibration is activated and you're in it and you're feeling it and you're flowing it, people just literally gravitate towards you.
It is.
Like, my dog will gravitate towards me. Like,
it is.
It's so amazing. Like, just life looks so much more beautiful from the lens of love.
And easy, but then you're co-creating with the higher dimensions of love. It's like, so there's so much to unpack in that, but just choose love, choose to love yourself, choose to embrace yourself, to choose to just be your radiance, and don't be afraid of your light, because that's also an important. Don't be afraid of your power and stand for who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Like you, beautiful soul sister.
Oh, I see it in you, believe me. I love how you remind us of all of this today, and even just receiving your light language just in conversation and being here with you. You are the divine reminder that exactly in this moment I personally needed. So I pray and intend that all who listen and are listening are feeling that same way. Kim, where can we find you? I mentioned your website earlier. Is that where you're sending people? And the book title for which is kimness.nl.
.nl, yes.
.nl. Okay. And your book title again is
Activating the Flower of Love. But you can best search on my name, Kim van de Sande, in Amazon or different. It finds it more easier than only the book.
Interesting. Okay, great. So I will put your name, of course, on this episode. So whether you're listening on YouTube and you're watching us live, or whether you're listening on an app like Spotify or Apple, I will make sure that your name is there so people can just easily search you on Amazon and receive this book and become a part of this movement, because this is what it really is. It's a revolution, as you had said. And let's continue to connect and collaborate and do this gorgeous healing work together with all, and just join in that community. There's no more separation after this. It's really just togetherness, and how beautiful.
Reuniting. So thank you for inviting me again, and for you listening, tuning in, and thank you for your beauty and your radiance and your unique uniqueness that you are sharing, and for me being part of your tribe. Thank you.
You are a part of my tribe. You are a leader in my tribe. And I thank you so much for shining your gorgeous light, your radiance, your energy. And I see you, soul sister. You are incredible. I love you. And I can't wait to connect you again soon. And for all the amazing listeners out there, be sure to subscribe, come over on Facebook, join our community. We are sharing lots of goodies week after week. And you could just pop us in Namaste, the podcast. You'll see Namaste with Renee. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have received this gorgeous energy in such a gorgeous light from my dear friend Kim, and we will be talking and connecting soon. So the light in me honors the light within each and every single one of you. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.